All right, hi guys. Obviously, we're gonna wait a few minutes like we usually do before getting started. This is Hayden, obviously,
Hi.
my fiance. I made him read this horrible book with me, and I know he's just like over the moon excited
I'm glad you
to.
said horrible up front.
I mean, I think it's no secret. Like, I picked this book knowing what content it had. I guess we can talk a little bit about that. Just like my process in selecting this, but I picked this specifically because Hayden said he wanted something smutty. Like, he didn't want just like a regular romance.
Did I?
I remember you distinctly saying that.
Okay.
Like,
Whatever.
and then I don't know. I don't know why this one came into my head, but I just figured it'd be more fun if it was bad. Because I don't know that you could take like a really smutty book very seriously.
No, that's true. I think that this book was bad in ways that I'm not sure that you're necessarily meaning when you say bad.
Okay, I'll be interested to see what you mean by that.
Yeah.
Once we kind of get like more into it, but this was definitely not good. So I want you to know that I know that, and I picked it for that reason.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad.
Okay, so I guess we can just go ahead and get started, honestly. Usually what I ask is like, what were your general overall thoughts? Like, what would you rate this out of 5 stars?
Ooh.
You don't need to get deep into the analysis. We can get there.
Oh, I mean, here's the thing. I don't think that I've ever read like a romance novel before.
Besides Back River Quiver.
I didn't read that.
I read it to you.
Did you read me the whole thing?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that was a lot shorter than this. If this was that length, I would have had a better, a more positive view of it. It was way too long. Yeah. I don't know. It's hard to give it a rating because I don't have anything really to compare it to.
That's fair.
I'd say like
just enjoyment. Like
right now,
enjoyment, writing, like what goes into that.
Like out of 10, I'd give it
out of 5.
Oh, out of 5?
That's how Goodreads works.
I'd give it probably a 2.
I think that's a very fair rating for this because here's my thing. I also am probably going to give this a 2-star. I read it a year ago, almost to the day, I think. I don't know. I read it a year ago and I had a lot of thoughts and feelings because the writing is interesting in that I think she knows how to write. Like, it wasn't objectively horrible, the writing, but some of the slang she used I thought was ridiculous. The plot was kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
And some of the choices she made regarding tropes were just not my personal fave. So I would give it a 2 as well.
Definitely.
I mean, it was fun, though. It was like kind of a fun, shitty time. Like, there aren't very many books out there that I read that I'm like, you know what, this really sucks, but like I'm having a good time reading it. Like, After by Anna Todd wasn't fun to read because it was just the same shit over and over again. At least this, we got some like different and zesty plot points.
I was going to say that was one of my like big complaints about this book was that it was like literally the same shit over and over again, but also for like way too long.
I will say the second time around reading it and or like listening to the audiobook, I did feel like it dragged a little bit, but I just wanted to know what was going to happen next when I was originally reading this because, like I said, some of the choices that she uses when it comes to like slang and just the way that she writes her characters. I mean, they feel real, I guess. I gotta say, I think I was telling Hayden this right before we got on the live show, but if I were to describe Raven, the main character, as anyone, it would be like the hot Cheeto girl at school. You know what I mean? Like, she thinks she's black, but she's absolutely not. So some of the choices, it was like a train wreck, you know? But you can't look away. So that's how I would describe this book. I would definitely give it 2 stars.
I mean, I was just like the whole time she was, doing the obvious like trailer trash, but like not like the other girls trope, but like to an extent that like really fucking irritated me. It was like literally anything that happened in this book, she was like, but they don't understand that's not me and I'm never going to be that way. But it was for everything.
It really was for everything. Okay, so I guess now we can kind of get more into like the nitty-gritty of the book. Kind of like the plot and the characters. Do you want to tell me how you feel about the plot of this book and like main issues and critiques that you would have?
What plot? Okay, so
I mean, that's fair.
Here's the thing. The first like 75% of this book could have like pretty much not existed. Like, it could have been condensed down to like the same, like if this book could have easily been split in half.
So are you saying that like the part where she wasn't living with them could have been taken away? Like what
could have been a lot shorter.
Could have been cut, do you think?
Yeah, that whole, I don't know, but like from between her living, like first getting to the, what house does she live in? Because she doesn't live in the Bray house, right?
Oh God, no, she doesn't. So that's the thing, guys. I'm going to give you a brief rundown on the plot. I'm not going to spoil it. Well, okay, whatever. I don't know what spoils this book and what doesn't, but essentially our main character Raven is
she's a troubled youth.
She lives with her mother. Her mother is addicted to cocaine and sells her body to obtain said cocaine. Obtain cocaine. Love that. And Raven is taken from her home at 17 for no fucking reason, out of nowhere. She has a social worker she doesn't know about. She's taken out of her home and put into essentially a girl's home.
No, isn't she taken out in the beginning because she like gets in a fight?
She does get in a fight, but she's never had a social worker before. They just they're like, oh, you've had one. Actually, you just didn't know about it. And we're going to take you out of your home. It was wild to me because they had no reason to take her out of her house.
Yeah.
Like that's what at the beginning I was like, I can tell this is going to be a hot mess because you're taking a girl out of her house for no fucking reason. Like, sure, she got into a fight, but that's not a reason to separate someone from their mom who's taking care of them. Like,
yeah,
resources are low
they're,
enough.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think the reasons are obvious a little later in the book, but it's not like some big event happened like in the beginning of the book in regards to her mother in order for
her to get separated.
It's like they make it obvious a little later in the book that like she definitely shouldn't have been living with her mom. Like,
I mean, a lot of people are put in worse situations. She still had food and a roof over her head. Like that. Unfortunately, that's just the reality. And anyway, so that happens. She gets taken from her home, brought to an all-girls home, and this home is kind of connected to this high school. Is it Brayshaw High, basically? Not connected physically, but the girls that go to the school go to Brayshaw High, and the boys of Brayshaw are like these three kind of douchey high schoolers, and they run everything. Like the principal has nothing on them, they're the honchos, and essentially it's just them like kind of falling for her, telling her that she can't do certain things, and like physically taking her out of situations. It's basically a mess.
Like kidnapping her, all the while she's saying like, "Leave me alone."
Yeah,
like please.
That being said, I don't think there were like huge consent issues or anything in this book. Like she was fine.
No, and that was kind of like one of the things that irritated me is like every time that she was like very fiercely telling them to go away and like leave me alone, and then they would physically pick her up and force her into a car and then start driving away. Like in the book it would be like but then I like smirked or like I laughed like, oh, they get me too well or something like that. And it was like, where the fuck did that come from?
100%. And I also just feel like that kind of goes along with her attitude too, I think, which was one of the big sticking points for me when I was reading this. The characterization of Raven and her actions was very interesting. Haden was pointing out, or he asked before we started, is it common for like the female main character in a romance to be consistently called a whore and to be, I guess, bullied and stuff? I think that's kind of what you were trying to get at, correct? Yeah,
well, like, because that was kind of the whole thing is like she was called a whore the whole time because of her mother, but that was kind of my question was like, is that a common trope in romance novels for like the girl to be labeled a whore? And then she's like, I don't know, she kind of like uses it to some extent. Like, she plays into it sometimes, but at the same time is like, that's not me.
Yeah, I would say there usually are not as many tropes when it comes to female main characters as there are male main characters, primarily because obviously you're usually reading from the female perspective, as most women read romance novels. So anyway, I think there's more care taken with the female main characters, giving them personalities and making them different each time. That being said, this is not like an uncommon thing. I've definitely seen situations where, oh, this girl from the wrong side of the tracks comes into town and everybody calls her a whore, even though they don't know her and they don't know her sexual background. And
yeah.
It's definitely not an uncommon thing. But you're right. I kind of found it interesting too that she did play into it to kind of like make it an advantageous situation for her.
Like at some points where, like
she
knew people wanted her, and so she would like kind of like tease them a bit with it.
Yeah.
and then, like punch them in the balls or something,
Holy shit.
I didn't know you could get up there.
I couldn't. I hope he doesn't get up there. Pepe is on top of my bookshelves.
Well,
I hope he doesn't jump on us.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Anyway, so I found her interesting. How did you feel about the boys?
I mean, the other two seemed fine, just like regular.
You need to give some context.
Oh, okay.
We haven't talked about them yet.
Royce and Captain, I would say, seemed like pretty average, like high school douchebags. I mean, in the way that they talk and like behave throughout the whole book. Maddox, the main guy, I don't know. I really hated how much she talked about him growling. When have you ever really heard another human being growl?
Not often, and it's very frequently used to show someone's like alphaness.
Yeah, he growls like a lot in this book. Like he growls. There was more growling in this book than any of the Twilight books so far.
And there's an actual werewolf.
Yeah, there's an actual wolf there.
That's
so
fair.
But yeah, that and then the amount of possessiveness that Maddox has was a little revolting, to say the least.
It's interesting you say that, because I didn't feel like this book was particularly bad in that regard. I mean, he was obviously possessive, but he didn't take some extreme measures that I have. Why you gotta do that?
Is it time for him to get down?
Yeah, will you grab him? He made a mistake doing that while we were in here. Now I can't do it ever again. Oh, that's probably how that got messed up last time. Okay. Hi, Peps. Yes, this book was a hot mess for us too. And I agree. So that's something interesting. Someone pointed out too that this is a reverse harem book. Do you know what that means?
No.
So a reverse harem is one girl, multiple guys, and it's not a polyamorous relationship in that, like, it's not one big relationship. All these guys just want her. She can have her pick of any of them. Usually she ends up with one guy at the end. Yeah.
Or like all three of them at one point while they're trying to eat her out to make her not afraid of the dark.
Yes. That does happen.
Does happen. It's actually the first like sex scene in the book, which I was kind of, I don't want to say surprised about, but yeah, a little bit.
That is a thing that happens.
But it's okay, guys, because they're not really brothers.
Yes. And that's another thing. It's like these three teenage boys are just supposed to raise themselves in this like big house.
Whoa, step bro, I'm afraid of the dark.
Oh my god. All right. I'm trying to think if there's anything like specifically we can really talk about besides that. Usually, I mean, for the majority of these live shows, we usually just chill and talk about other stuff. But obviously you're here, so if you guys have any questions regarding this book, please let me know, because we'll answer them, obviously.
Yes, definitely.
Also, just let us know what you want to talk about and we'll chat. Yeah, I didn't feel like this was a very successful reverse harem. I don't know if there's ever going to be one. I think for me, if I'm going to read a romance with more than one person, I'm going to want it to be polyamorous. I just feel like not everybody is possessive and jealous, but I do think it would be kind of hard to like want a girl really bad and know that someone else also, like, you all want her and she can just pick whoever.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just feels like a weird situation to be in.
And I mean, as far as like what you're describing as like a reverse harem, yeah, it wasn't very successful in that, like, it was very obvious from the beginning that like she was going to be with Maddox or Maddox was going to get her. You know?
Yeah.
It was like the other two boys definitely never had a chance. Even though I thought it was kind of stupid because they never really said any positive things about Maddox besides like him being like the sexy alpha male or whatever. But like the other two guys were like hot as well. And they seemed to be nice, at least a little bit. So true. I didn't understand really.
You know, Raven comes from a troubled background. Maybe she just wanted a troubled guy as well.
Yeah. I will say I really hated, like, I mean, they don't have sex until like 80% of the way into the book. I say 80% because I'm reading it on the Kindle app, right? So I can tell exactly how much of the book has gone by. 80% of the way in, right? And then they fuck like 5 times, like towards the end,
in
and it's
rapid
always
succession,
like,
yeah.
it's always like, oh, something's bad is happening. Like at one point, she literally gets jumped at the end of the book, and he's like, yeah, let's like get you into the shower and like clean you up. And then he's like, now I'm gonna fuck you to make you feel better. Like,
that is often used in books, and I really don't understand it. In fact, if a book has that, I'm gonna dock it a
like
star.
maybe a headache or something, but not
sex cures headaches,
not concussion and like possible broken ribs from like large boots. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I want to chill if that happens to me ever. So I feel you on that. So Garen asked if there was any particular line that stood out in this book to you. There were a couple I wrote down in my notes. Speaking of the sex, hot cum coating my asshole.
That was a good one.
Was not my personal favorite. Ass is tricky, right? Like, how are you going to like refer to it that's not gross? Like, I've heard pleated rim. Things of that nature. So it's like it's kind of hard to find the
pleated
rim.
Okay.
Or like the rosebud of her butt. I don't know, shit like that.
Okay.
So I guess asshole is like to the point, but I really did not appreciate that. I also didn't like the part where there's a scene in the book where our main character, our Raven or whatever, she takes Maddox's member out of another girl's mouth, and we hear it described as a pop, like popped it out of.
Yeah.
So that killed me.
I'm trying to look through like the highlights.
You can look up here.
Oh, okay. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah. Is there a way to look through like highlights?
My notebook. There you go. There's plenty. Wow, did you do all of those?
No. There were most of them were yours, but okay. I definitely.
I also liked that the first way she's described by Maddox is temptress and Timberlands.
Yeah, I never expected she's temptress and Timberlands.
Literally a hot Cheeto girl. Like there's no getting around it.
I'm trying to like figure out which ones are mine and which ones aren't.
You know, I think a lot of the stuff that I touched on you probably felt the same about, so I think that's fair. I don't personally have. I'm gonna look at the comments while Hayden looks at the highlights.
Yeah.
I don't have any polyamorous Rex, unfortunately, other than a Lesson in Thorns, which I didn't even love. I don't know how to search for them, really. I feel like the Goodreads list function isn't great, so if you guys have any really good polyam Rex, please put them in the comments, obviously, but I just don't really have any. That's kind of one of my goals, I think, for 2020 is to find some, but I couldn't. You look like you found something.
I did hate this line. His happy trail is basically screaming to be played with.
I hated that too. I noticed that.
Has anyone ever thought about playing with a happy trail?
The only play I would want to do is shave it off.
Also, like, I don't know about you, but like the happy trail hairs aren't really like a nice thing to have touched. Like, you know what I mean? To have someone else.
It's not
like,
tantalizing.
Yeah, it's
not sexy.
It's kind of uncomfortable. Like they're sensitive hairs, you know what I mean?
don't really want anyone playing with any of my body hair, to be fair. But that's just me.
Oh, I also specifically remember some point that I didn't write it down, but he scraped her clitoris with his teeth. They said, oh no, wait, with his fingernail, scraped it with his fingernail and then bit it between his teeth. And neither of those things sounded nice.
No, I
don't know from experience, but just a guess.
Thanks for never biting me.
Or, you know, scratching you with my fingernail on purpose. On purpose.
Thanks for the clarification on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so actually, obviously unrelated to this book, but a lot of people in the comments are talking about reverse harem, and the book I just read, Credence, had a reverse harem situation, kind of. And I feel like it's a very contentious read. A lot of people hate it and a lot of people love it. And to be honest, like I gave it 5 stars, but I really am not sure how I feel about it. I didn't like, I liked who she picked. I was rooting for him from the beginning, but I didn't love the way that she built the story at the end. I feel like she could have done a better job at getting Caleb to be someone that was like, not crazy. So that's that on that. Will you scold him, please? I don't know why he's such an asshole during live shows, but I'm really not having Stop, Pepe.
I also didn't like how many times they said the word cunt. In a way,
maybe don't say that a ton because I'm trying to get this monetized.
Yeah,
after. Thanks.
They said it many times in a way that was, I felt, supposed to be sexy or something.
So it was in a sexual context. I think I missed that. Yeah,
wasn't nice.
Yo,
dude, is he under there again?
Why are you doing that? We're gonna throw you out, and it's not gonna be fun for you. Oh my
god. But yeah. What's up? What else you got for me? I will say that one of the biggest disappointments to me was the ending.
Okay, what about it?
The fact that there wasn't one.
I mean, it's a series.
I know, but like the plot was basically like non-existent and confusing the whole time, like as to what the central conflict in the book was. Like,
I will agree with that.
I felt like the central conflict was supposed to be the like relationship push and pull between her and Matic.
Yes.
But then towards the end, I was like, wait, but they're bringing in another major plot in the background, you know, about like the bigger story that's at play between like the Brayshaws and the Gravens or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They don't bring it in until the very end of the book. And then
it was hinted at throughout.
No, it's barely hinted at throughout. And then like at the end, they kind of bring it in. And then at the very end, it just like nothing is resolved. Like you don't know if she's still living with them. Like she's like walking into the Graven house to like have sex with the guy.
This is true.
So that's what I didn't like. I was like, wait, really? All of this was for nothing? Like none of these plot points get solved? Like there's no resolution to any of the conflicts in the book? Super cool.
I don't even think they're going to get solved in the next 2 books. I was going to vlog this and try to vlog the other 2 books, guys, but I just like wasn't feeling it, so I didn't do that. I would doubt though that anything would be solved in the next 2 books, honestly. Let me know if you've read the other 2 books, you know? Does it get better? I'm assuming it just does not.
I'm going to guess it doesn't. But honestly, when it ended, when it ended,
wanted more?
No, when it ended, I was like, oh, that's it? Like the last line of the book on the Kindle app was like on a different page. And I was like, oh, okay, end of chapter. And then I swiped again, and then it was like giving credits. And I was like, what? Like all of this for that? That's what I get?
That's fair. Okay, so I just thought about this. How did you feel about the sexiness of this book? Do you think you could read a romance and feel like, I don't want to say turned on by it, but like, do you think there could be a romance after having read 2, I guess now? Do you think there could be one that you would be into?
Probably, like, yeah, the thing with this one, the reason
this one was just bad.
The reasons why I was saying it was bad were because specifically the not like the other girls trope that was played into like way too hard, that like made me really not sympathize with her at all, right? Like I couldn't connect to her at all. And then I also couldn't connect to Matic at all because he was just like so like he was, you know, so possessive to a level that it made the whole thing like not possible for me to be like attracted to this story.
Yeah. I also think that the choice to do dual POV here was sort of weak because I didn't feel like Maddox's point of view really contributed a lot to the overall story.
I was gonna say that they could have just made the whole thing from her perspective, because every time it was told from Maddox's perspective, I disliked Matic more and more.
Yeah.
And it was weird because they only did Maddox's perspective for like maybe 15 to 20% of the book. Like,
yeah,
it didn't make any sense to me.
I had honestly considered, had I not read it in November, I probably would have picked Punk 57 for you to read because it's one of my favorites. And I think the dual POV is excellently used in that book and so necessary. And I think it gets you to sympathize with both characters equally.
Yeah. And here's the thing. It's like, if they would have used the dual perspective to like give some of Maddox's perspective, that would make him seem like less of an asshole, you know, like really give some of his thoughts behind like why he's possessive over her, or like, you know, his feelings towards her or something like that, then maybe it could have been a positive thing. But because every time they switched to his perspective, he was just like, the bitch doesn't understand that she's mine.
Yeah,
like
it wasn't.
I was like, that's even worse than it looked from the outside.
Exactly. So yeah, this definitely, like, the second point of view wasn't needed, which is rare for me to say because oftentimes I find myself thinking in a romance, I would have preferred there to be the guy's perspective, because often you do have this overly possessive guy, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't really understand why he's acting like this, and it's like turning me off. So it's nice to have the guy perspective, and I think Penelope Douglas does a really good job doing the dual POV thing, or multiple POV, which she does in Credence. So anyway, there's that. So yeah, maybe at some point I'll get him to read another romance. Someone asked us what we're reading next. We are not, like, he is not a part of my book club, so he was just a guest star for this week. But
sorry for you guys.
Me and him have like a podcast. It's not really a podcast anymore. It's just going to be one time a month for the next year or so. We're going to be reading a young adult book and then doing a video, like talking about the book. This month it's Court of Thorns and Roses, and we are going to be posting that sometime next week. Just have to wait for Hayden to read that. So we're going to do like a whole discussion video. It'll be similar to this, but like more professional, edited, obviously, not live. It's just going to be a video. So you're going to see more of him if you guys like his commentary at all.
As for me,
as for you,
outside of that, what am I reading? I'm reading 11/22/63.
Yes. He usually reads, I say usually, he just kind of got back into reading after not reading for a while. He's read some science fiction. I know he's like looking to read some fantasy, so he's definitely more like sci-fi fantasy.
Oh, and then the book that you got me for Christmas.
Yeah, that's kind of, is it horror? I don't even know what
it
is. House of Leaves.
House of Leaves.
I think it's horror. I don't know what the fuck the genre is on that. Would you like to leave? Hi. He's a very noisy boy.
Should I open the door?
I guess. Oh, he excited. Okay, bye. Your adoring fans miss you.
Bye, everyone. Pepper?
I don't know why he's looking at me like that. Well, Pepper knows what he wants. How are you liking 11/22/63?
It's good. I mean, I think I'm only like...
You're not that far into it.
I'm like...
You had to take a break for Brayshaw.
I'm like 200 pages into it, I think, out of like fucking like 800 or something like that. So I'm not like super far into it, but I mean, it's pretty good. Like it started out, the very beginning was a little slow, but that's kind of to be expected in a book that's like 800 pages. So
that's fair. I'm reading that at some point this year for a taste test video. So
it did actually get into like the interesting stuff quicker than I expected. So
why are they like that?
That's pretty good.
You can't really see Pepe, but he's playing with Nugget under the door. What else? Y'all feel free to ask us questions or anything you want us to discuss. Let us know, because we don't really want to talk about this book anymore.
Oh, yeah. I saw Julia at the very beginning ask how this was compared to Dune. And to be honest, I had the same feeling at the end of both of them. Not like I disliked Dune, but like at the end when I hit the very end, I was like, wait, it's over? Like that was it? Like that's how they wrapped it up?
So are you going to read the next Dune book?
I don't know. It's a good question. I've heard opinions that it kind of falls off after like the first one or two, but I don't know. I might read the second and see how it feels. I was really interested to read this one before the movie comes out next year. And I want to watch the old shitty David Lynch Dune movie because it's supposed to be really terrible.
Oh, thank you, Hawk. Yeah. So second channel question. I appreciate that.
You have a second channel?
Do you really just ask me that?
For what?
I told you about it.
Which one?
Like my life stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So no, I have not read, or not have read. What am I talking about? Wow. I have not made any videos for that channel yet. I know exactly what my first video is going to be. It's just like low-key emotional, and I don't really know when I'm going to like sit down and do that. I've been kind of depressed, which is why I haven't been uploading as much lately. So
it's hard to upload videos about your life when like you don't have a life, you know?
Fuck you. But also that's correct. No, but the first video, like I said, what about DBBC? We just touched on that a second ago. It's coming back, like I said, but not in a podcast format. It's just going to be us like in video format, edited, basically an hour-long YouTube video once a month. So we're reading Court of Thorns and Roses. It'll be posted next week. So yeah, I'm kind of putting my second channel on hold, even though it hasn't started. I just want to start when I'm in a good place and like excited about it. I don't want to force myself, whereas I do force myself to post videos on this channel. So that's going to be more of an outlet. So I want to keep it that way. Have we seen the controversy Stephen King's been in on Twitter? I like that question a lot because I have, he has not, and I think
haven't.
that really speaks a lot to just like life in general, and a lot of the stuff I feel like that happens on Twitter is so isolated. Like, think about it. Okay, you know, like Meredith Russo was in some shit, right? For some shit that she did. And fair, she did some fucked up stuff, but general readership is not going to know about any of that stuff because it's all kind of been isolated on Twitter. Same with Stephen King. He said something to the effect of, I don't care if a book's diverse. It just like has to be good or something like that. Like, he just doesn't care about diversity in books. It's not important to him, which was obviously very tone deaf and ignorant. And that's the thing. It's like general people are probably not going to understand or know that.
No,
he has no idea.
I mean, I also am just like social media and pop culture ignorant. Like, I'm not very with the times.
He's not
I
really
don't
on social media
use
at all.
any like social media. So if anything happens on Twitter, almost guaranteed that I didn't see it, unless for some reason it made it off of Twitter and
into like Reddit or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's pretty much all of the social media you're on is Reddit, I would say.
Yeah, and that's like not even that much. Like, I mean, unless I'm like looking through like news stuff, but that's not even really like social media. It's just like actual media.
Yeah. I used to be very anti-separation of art and artist, but the more things keep happening, the more I'm like, I just don't know where I stand on that argument anymore. Like, I don't want to support people that like say fucked up stuff, but at the same time, like, no one is perfect. Everybody is fallible. And obviously some things are worse than others, but I just like, I don't know. Especially when some books can help people a lot. Like Meredith Russo writes books about trans characters, which is so fucking important, and we need that own voices representation. But it's like, she's a shitty person, so where do you draw the line? It's a book that's going to help people. The person that she abused is someone who says like, I'm glad that Meredith's work's out there. So I don't know. I don't know where I stand on that debate. So yes, I did see the Stephen King thing. I don't think that's going to affect me reading or not reading his stuff, though, to be fair. I think he's ignorant as fuck and should be schooled on that, but
yeah. This is the first book that I've read
by
from
him, yeah.
And honestly, it's only because you had it on the shelf, so.
Yeah. This is true. Yeah, it by Stephen King has an orgy between children, so it's like, he's never been like a morally upstanding person.
Oh, I mean, I only saw the movie, so I never read the books. They didn't really include the child orgy in the theaters.
Someone asked what my second channel is. My second channel is just called Chan. I'll leave a link like in the description of this after the live is over. I watched a couple episodes of Euphoria. It was good as heck, but it was depressing, so I couldn't keep watching. I'm really not a big TV person, and if the like media itself is kind of sad, I usually don't continue watching just because I don't say my life's sad enough. That sounds bad. If you've got depression, I don't think you should be like feeding into that by like watching things that are depressing. That just doesn't work for me. So someone in the comments is talking about the Meredith Russo thing. I don't really want to have to like talk about it again. I've talked about it in a couple live shows recently. It's really upsetting because Birthday was actually my favorite book of last year. I just didn't feel comfortable talking about it in my favorite books video because of her, which is really sad, but that's just life, unfortunately. People suck.
Yeah. I'm out of the loop. I don't know.
Honestly, thank you for supporting my Credence vlog. That was something I did totally on a whim and made me really, really happy to do. So I'm really glad that you guys liked it. I was sick that day, so it was nice to just like stay at home and read the whole thing and upload it the same day. But yes, Euphoria has such good rep, man. And it's like such a solid and like beautifully done show.
Yeah, I don't tend to watch too many things about real people.
Have you read any more books from authors of color that you really enjoyed? I've read a fair amount, yes, of books from authors of color I've enjoyed. It depends what genre you're talking about. Like romance, yes, Kennedy Ryan's awesome. I like Alyssa Cole. Who else? I haven't read a lot of Beverly Jenkins, but I want to get on reading some of her stuff this year. In terms of just like general fiction authors, like you'd have to be more specific on genre, but I have not read any Rebecca Witherspoon. Is she the one that wrote Wraith? I don't know. Have we finished reading ACOTAR? No, we have not.
What that?
That's what we're reading. A Court of Thorns and Roses.
Oh, okay.
He's not good with acronyms.
I didn't realize that it was supposed to be an acronym because it was all lowercase.
Yeah. We haven't even started reading it. I've read it before. It won't take me very long to get through. Hopefully it doesn't take him too long to get through because we have like this week to read it. And
I haven't read it. I haven't even started.
I say that.
How long is it? How long is it?
Like 400 pages.
How long was Brayshaw?
About 400 pages.
Really?
Yeah. So you'll be fine.
Why was that book that long?
Honestly, that's a great question. One that I cannot answer.
Oh my goodness. I did not realize that that's what I was like signing up for whenever I started reading that book. Whenever you asked me to, I didn't realize that I was reading a 400
I had to keep you in the dark
novel.
for that.
Jesus.
Did we both watch Witcher? Yes, we watched it together.
Yes.
I was really fucking hyped for it. My best friend is like #1 Witcher stan on Twitter, so had to watch it for her. I gave her episode by episode recaps with Haden. We would like sit in bed, film a 5-minute video, and then send them to her. So it was a really fun experience. I'm very excited for season 2. So
yeah, no, it was good. I never even like played the games or anything, so I might get The Witcher, or like Witcher 3, I guess is what like everyone keeps telling me to play.
If you get it, I might play it.
If you comment right now if you guys want to see her playing.
I don't know if I'm ever gonna stream anything, but
oh no, we definitely like at least like make videos of you playing it. Like we don't have to stream it live, but like
that's fair.
Definitely could make like a montage video of like you like kind of learning to play video games, because
I don't play. I've never been a video game person. My dad and my sister were video game people. Like my sister learned to play from my dad, and like that was their thing, and it was never my thing. So.
But she made it seem like when we first started dating, she was like, "Oh yeah, like me and my dad play Xbox." Like
I definitely didn't say
that. You definitely said that.
I have never claimed to be a gamer girl. Okay, I'm not into that. I fucking hate games of all sorts. Like I'm not really into like board games, any gaming. No, I'm too competitive and I hate it.
Yeah, if any of y'all have played any of the Witcher games, like let me know which one is the best one. Like
it's Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Everybody knows that.
Just Witcher 3? Okay.
Yes. Cool. Come on. I know that.
That's what I thought. Like that's what people have told me, but I didn't know if I was supposed to play anything like before
that. Someone asked, do you prefer listening to audiobooks or reading? Have you listened to an audiobook?
I haven't listened to an audiobook yet, but I listen to a shit ton of podcasts. Like
I think he would really like audiobooks. I don't know that you would prefer them to physical reading, but maybe.
Here's the thing. I've told this to Chandler before. Like I think it really depends on who the narrator is. And like she listens at like 3.5 times speed or something. So yeah. I feel like the narrator kind of matters less for you because it all sounds like in alien language that isn't English.
Sure.
For me, yeah, it would definitely depend on the narrator and like, yeah, because sometimes like reading you can put yourself into a headspace that someone else's voice wouldn't be able to get you into. But then sometimes the person's voice is like perfect and it's like even better than what you're reading, kind of.
That's fair. Yeah, I think there's definitely some and there's like full cast performance audiobooks too, which I think is cool. I haven't actually listened to a full cast audiobook. I love audiobooks a lot more now than I used to because I try to read at a really fucking high volume for this channel. So I can't do that alone. And also I can listen to audiobooks while I do my work. So for me, audiobooks are really awesome. But I do like physically reading a book. I tend to prefer physically reading romance and listening to audiobooks for like fantasy and contemporary. But that's just me. Someone asked me a question that I thought was interesting. I don't listen to podcasts. He does. What podcasts do you like? Like what would you say are some of your faves?
I listen to a lot of like true crime podcasts. I'd say recently a lot has
He's telling me all kinds of like crazy facts, and they're like very like the shit will randomly come up, and we'll just be chilling, and you're like, oh god, I'm trying to think of something you said to me recently, but I was like, thank you.
We were talking about. I was telling you about the difference between product killers and process killers.
Yes, and I was like, thanks. Are you trying to decide which you want to be? Because I'm scared.
Recently I've been listening to a lot of Last Podcast on the Left. Yeah, I'd say that's the one that I've been listening to a lot recently.
Someone asked what our star signs are. He's a Leo. I'm a Scorpio. He is definitely not a typical Leo. He is not an asshole.
What that means. Are Leos assholes?
In terms of, I think Enneagram better describes us. I'm an 8 and he's a 9.
I'm glad you remember that because I didn't.
Do. I remembered. So we work well together, surprisingly.
Yeah. Surprisingly. We work well. We work well together, like oil and vinegar.
I also like. I mean, I think most of the reason. I'm trying to think if we had met each other like later on in life, like in college. Do you think we would get along? I don't think we would have.
How much time would we have had to like see if we gelled? You know what I mean?
Like if we met at a party, like I don't think we would be friends.
Oh, just a one-time encounter? Probably not.
I don't think we would.
If we were forced to be around each other, you know, like multiple times, I think I would have like
thought I was hot and like wanted to get with this.
No.
Okay.
Maybe I would have seen your sparkling personality.
Yeah, that's what I've got.
But knowing you, like definitely first time encounter, just like meeting you and you not knowing me, no, definitely.
We definitely wouldn't. I'm not socialist.
You wouldn't talk to me.
No, I probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
I am so quiet
and I'm not really the kind of person to like really try to talk to someone who isn't like giving me anything in a conversation. I'll move on, you know.
I will say the only like real like Leo thing he has going on, I don't think you would say you like being the center of attention, but like whenever he comes home and tries to describe work situations, the ones in which he's most excited is when he made a really good joke and people liked it, or like he impressed a bunch of people at work. So I think in that regard he's like that, but he's definitely not very prideful or like any of the like super negative Leo traits. He's just a good boy. Okay. If you had to choose a song to describe who you are as a person, oh my god, that's hard. Jesus. I don't think I can do that.
Nope, definitely can't do that. I don't like I really specifically hate using like songs to like describe
which is
like a relationship or like a person or something. Like this is what you mean to me.
We don't have a song.
I hate that. Yeah. No, we do have songs, but they're not like they don't like describe like songs. Our relationship.
Yeah, they're just like funny songs. They're like country songs we like to listen to in the car. So yeah, I don't really have a song that would describe. He's not very like, you're not really a lyric person. Like you don't like the emotional impact of songs. He's a musician, but that's like not what he likes about music. You like the more technical aspect.
I like the music, and then I
like the music.
I do especially like when like the music is good, and then on top of that the lyrics are good. But if I want to listen to just things for the lyrics, then I'll listen to like hip hop or I'll listen to rap.
That's fair, yeah.
And then, and only then, like, then I'm listening to it specifically for the lyrics, and, like, most of the other stuff doesn't matter. That's why I can't get into, like the, like, pop rap and, like, top 40 kind of rap and or, like, mumble rap is because, like, the lyrics aren't there.
The lyrics aren't, that's fair.
Yeah.
Someone asked where we met. We met freshman year of high school. In what class was that? Geography, whatever
geography.
Social studies you have in for it.
It was geography.
But yeah,
definitely.
We've been together. It'll be 10 years this year. Special. What?
Yeah, it was geography, and then the year after that was world history, right?
Did we get into another class together?
Yeah, you don't remember we were in the same class, and then I got moved out like halfway through, and you got really sad.
Okay. That's fair. Yeah, we started dating sophomore year of high school.
Mm-hmm.
We met freshman year of high school. I didn't like him. I thought he was kind of an idiot. We were assigned like to a project together. Remember that?
I don't.
We had to like draw a map or something, and I just remember I thought he had no artistic skills. So,
I don't. I'm not an artist.
Yeah. And he also didn't give a shit. You were kind of like.
Still don't.
You were not he's not a school person at all.
I'm not a schoolboy.
Okay. There's a lot of good comments I'm trying to figure out. Someone asked about a book series that I have not read, Captive in the Dark. It sounds familiar, but I have not read it.
It's a very dark romance. Very, very, very.
We like that. Actually, I'll tell you guys now. I'll announce it later on Twitter. The book for next month is going to be Pennies by Pepper Winters, which is like the darkest shit that I've personally ever read. And my co-hosts for next month are going to be Kat from Paperback Dreams and Daria from Full of Lit. I'm very fucking excited. They're my girls. It's going to be a good time. I don't know exactly time and date yet, so I'm not going to like post immediately, but once I talk to them to like finalize that, that's next month. Would you ever get another pet in the near future? No, we have 3 and that's way too many.
The last one was a mistake.
Don't say that about Pepper.
You've said it before.
That's fair. We love him. So, and we're actually considering moving across the country to live with my family. So they have 2 cats. I don't really think 4 cats and a dog is really like that's a lot, and we don't need more.
Yeah.
We broke up for 2 months freshman year of college, for those people that are asking. But that's it. That's the only time we've broken up. We're not a very like volatile couple, and we're really fucking good at communicating. Like this definitely biggest accomplishment, like
what do you mean?
Our relationship.
Oh, biggest accomplishment like in your life?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say
like
so.
Staying together, not even staying
like, definitely
together,
for you.
But fuck you. But just being functional, you know. My family, like my parents have a great relationship, but like nothing compared to what we have. No offense to them. Like
no,
we're just great at communicating and like we get each other. So yeah, I think that's really fucking important. I love Cat too. Yeah, honestly, I'm kind of scared to reread Pennies because it's gonna be rough.
Are you into Lana Del Rey?
Yes, is that a question?
Yeah.
I like her. I like one of her new songs off her new album. And I like Born to Die a lot. That album's good as fuck.
I think
I want what you have, but gayer. Honestly, sometimes I feel the same way. Just kidding. I love you. Favorite booktube content to watch that's not the same content as you. Do you mean booktube content? Because oh yeah, okay, it says I can't read. Watch that's not the same as mine. Most of the people I watch don't have the same content as mine. I'm not saying I'm unique, but I wouldn't say that like no one does the same shit, right? I really like Kat, obviously. I love Daria's channel. I really liked her In Defense of Amy March video that just came out. That was fucking excellent. She does really good like analytical stuff. Obviously, Kayla, I really like. Natasha for My Reading is Odd. I did a whole like thing on my Instagram. I don't know if I saved it to my stories or not, but like it was the people that I watch the most often. I really like Jess from Peace Love Books. For me, it's more about the personality. Like I don't really care what people read. That sounds bad, but like I don't read any horror, but I love Natasha's channel because I like her personality and the way she presents information. So I don't know. I think it doesn't matter to me so much about like what the actual content is or what the books are, as long as the personality is cool and like fun to listen to. Haden's reaction to you starting YouTube. How did you? He didn't really have a.
I didn't really have a reaction, but I think that was more because of you and not really because of me. Like you told me that it was something that you wanted to do, and then whenever you started doing it, like I wasn't allowed to be around while you were filming. I wasn't allowed to be around while you were editing, and then I also wasn't allowed to watch your channel. Like you didn't tell me what it was called. Like you were like specifically like telling me. I was like, well, what if I wanted to like see your videos, like support what you're doing? You're like, no, you can't watch it until like I feel a little more comfortable. Like it was because you didn't want to be like thinking about the fact that people that you knew were going to watch your videos when you were like first starting out. Like that can be a little nerve-wracking to like think about while you're filming. You know, it's hard to like stay natural when you're thinking things like that.
And I think like for me at least, knowing like my family and stuff, I'm not saying my family's hypercritical, but your family obviously knows you and like knows what you're self-conscious about. Because I feel like, I don't know, one of my friends, for instance, she like once I started making a channel, like the only comment she had was that I touched my hair too much. And so every time I would film after that, I just kept thinking about how I touched my hair too much. So I didn't really want people that I knew to like know about my channel for that reason. I didn't want to be hyper aware of that. Not that like I was scared of people watching, but more just like I didn't want comments from people I knew because I was like, I don't need that. Like I'm trying to get my own footing and feel confident in what I'm doing.
And I can imagine it would be even worse with me because we were living together in essentially a 1-bedroom apartment. So you know, not only were you like worried about what I might see if I like watched your video, but like literally the fact that I could probably like hear you from the next room.
God,
like you would make sure you would make me leave.
I would make
even though I had nowhere to go. Like sometimes I would just have to drive around for like
that's
an hour
why I
like
started filming in my car though, is because I just didn't want people to be around. It's frustrating, and it still is, even though we have a 2-bedroom apartment. Like it's pretty quiet in here, so if there's nothing going on and it's just my loud ass voice trying to speak to a camera, like I don't not that it fucking
like
matters.
Makes me turn on the TV or like put headphones on and listen to something.
It just it's reassuring. It's still reassuring to me, but that'll definitely change if we do live in with my parents, but who knows. But I don't care if you watch his finished videos now. Not that you do. Have you ever watched one?
I've definitely watched them before, but I don't like regularly watch them. Mostly because it's not content that I can relate to really in any way, you know?
And that's another thing. Like people also like apologize when you have a channel, like your friends or your family like apologize for not watching. Like, oh, like, you know, I haven't watched a video in a while. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah,
like,
but you like didn't make it for them. Yeah, exactly.
I make everything for me. I know that sounds like, but I just like, that's what it is. It's for me.
That's how I feel when like coworkers like don't come to my show or something, and I'm like, I don't care. Like
it's not
I
for
invited
you.
you guys if you wanted to, you know, come out because you were free, and not like I needed people there to like make a crowd or anything. Like I'm just like, hey, if you guys want to come hang out, I'm going to be at this place tonight.
And in general, I think our pursuits are very like individualistic. Like I don't come to a lot of his shows, which like that's on me because I'm too fucking lazy to get out of bed and like stay up till 11 sometimes.
But I also don't watch most of your
channel,
videos.
so it's not. I'm not upset about it. Like we have our own things and we come together for other stuff, so it's not a big deal. I think it's important actually to have your own thing, because I think you can get easily too like lost in a relationship if you don't have your own shit. Someone asked what made me want to start a YouTube channel. I'd always wanted to start a YouTube channel. I did it in 7th grade, like regarding Twilight. Like I did like Twilight related videos. And I liked that experience and I wanted to do something very different, but just something on YouTube. And then I found out about BookTube because Reagan from Peru's project is like a mutual friend of mine. And I found out about her channel, looked at it, watched other BookTube videos, and I was like, I read, let me do this. Like this is kind of, it just all kind of fell into place. And even before I started doing BookTube videos, because I was living in a house with Hayden and like 5 other guys when I thought about making a channel, I knew it wasn't realistic. So I started doing Goodreads reviewing for a year, and I got like fairly popular, I guess, on Goodreads. And then I made the transition to BookTube because I had like a pretty big gap from graduating grad school and then starting my new job. And I was like 3 months, I need to do something. So I started my channel then. So yeah. Someone asked about filming setup. I have a whole video about it, but I have 2 cameras. I have a Canon SL2, which I use to do my sit-down videos. I have a G7X for my vlogs. I have a ring light that I really like that was on Amazon. It's like the first one you find whenever you search. I have 2 umbrella lights that I use too to kind of get rid of the shadows that can be thrown, I guess.
But all of that stuff you use, like sometimes you use it, sometimes you use some of the other stuff. Like
yeah, I mean, but for the most part, if I'm doing like a sit down video or like stuff that looks very fucking well lit, I use all 3 of those lights. So yes.
Right now it's nothing. Right now it's just the
well, this is just a live show.
Yeah.
Like I have gotten less picky, I would say, over time about certain things, and I don't think you need a ton of equipment to just like start out. You really don't. I'm just really picky. I really like that stuff. It excites me. I love technical stuff. My dad is like his job is in tech, so he's always gotten me into like technology and like just interested in like the new and latest shit that comes out. So for me, like the technical side of BookTube's interesting. I love filming and editing. Well, I don't like filming. I like editing. I like setting up to film. I love good audio quality. Like it makes me nut. I like really pretty visuals. So none of the stuff I use is necessary. I know Kayla, her videos are beautiful and have great sound, and she just uses a G7X, no lighting. So like it really doesn't matter, but that's just like what I use. And editing software, I use Final Cut Pro. So anyway. Crossfire series, didn't love it. I just read the first book again. I had read them previously, and I read it again for a video that I'm doing that's going to be posted sometime in February. I've got feelings, and you'll hear them then. Sorry, I feel very quiet.
I'm just reading comments.
Do you remember the first booktuber I watched? I honestly don't really remember. I know Kat was definitely one of the first ones that I really, really was like, fuck, I love this girl. Like, I think she's great. And I just like watched every video that she ever put out like multiple times. I obviously I think I found out about BookTube through Reagan, but I didn't watch a ton of Reagan's videos primarily because I like kind of more ranty content, slightly more analytical stuff. Not that Reagan's not analytic, but hers are more recommendation type videos, and I liked the deep kind of rant reviews that Kat did. So, yeah, and it's kind of cute because we're friends now. But have I read You the book? Yes, I have. I didn't love it. Would Haden ever read pure smut? We read some pure smut together. We read.
I mean, I was gonna say there's almost nothing that I wouldn't. I mean, I just read Boys of Brayshaw High, so
anything is fair game now.
Well, no, I just mean I don't really ask questions when you're like, we're reading this book. I'm just like, I guess this is what I'm reading now.
Yeah, you're super agreeable, which I appreciate. Like, Dumb Bitch Book Club was my idea from the inception, and then I thought it would be a cool idea to get Haden in on it. And Yeah, he pretty much agrees to like anything at this
Yeah,
point.
I've read a lot of shit that I didn't want to read. Like, I'm already there, you know? So it's like, whatever's next. I don't really ask questions. So if a book really was absolutely garbage like this one, you know, I don't really realize what's happening until the end, if that makes sense at all. Like at the end, I'm like, wow, I just read an awful book, but the whole way through, I'm not like gouging my eyes out normally. And I mean, that was pretty bad, and I still wasn't like dying.
Well, that's how I am.
But I was just waiting for it to end.
You don't let him in. He's not having it.
Yeah.
It's just like, honestly, anytime I try to film, it's just a constant like in and out of animals. How do you decide the next book I want to read? Okay, so I have videos, and then that decides like what I'm reading. I actually put down, because I have like a pretty strict schedule I'm sticking to right now. Like, oh, you can't even see it really, but I have all of the books in my calendar, like what day I need to read it, and like I allot certain amounts of days for certain books based on page length, which is like very intense, but it's like working pretty well for me because I have some shit that like has to get out in January, February. I like have been slacking on other videos, like random shit that I usually like throw in every month, for these really impressively long, in my opinion, videos that I'm excited about. So yeah, that's how I decide what I'm reading next. I don't just pick up books anymore, unfortunately. Where did you find a man that could read? I didn't. I taught him how to read.
I wouldn't say I can read.
Yeah, no, he's not a reader at all. He just started reading this year. I mean, like, he read when he was younger, like Harry Potter and stuff.
I took a break in reading from, like, no joke, my whole high school career, I didn't finish a single book that we had to read for, like, school.
I didn't read a ton of books in school.
I didn't read any of those books. And that was, like, I stopped reading because of those books.
But in general, our relationship has not been based on like shared interests anyway. I whenever people say I don't read books, I'm not offended or like encourage people to read. I don't give a shit what other people do.
Yeah.
Like, this is very much my thing, and I like it, and I don't care. Same with music. I think it's honestly wild we're together because I'm one of the people in my life that does not give a fuck about music. Like, I listen to it in my car. I just don't care. I don't understand the technical aspects of it. I like Top 40. Like, I don't care. And he is a musician. Like, he is into that shit. So we just have our own things, and that's fine.
You know,
that's
and like sometimes one of our worlds dips into the other, like you know, in the near future, whenever I get you to play Witcher.
Or I could play tambourine in your band.
Never. I refuse to be in a band with a tambourine. Just kidding. Tambourine is.
I'm impressed with how many books you read. Honestly, I'm impressed with this year's reading. There was a point in January where I had. That's very loud, sweetie.
Is it?
Yeah, sorry. Oh. I love you, Dingo. There was a point where I was reading 1.5 books a day to stay on schedule. I've since switched things around, so I don't have to do quite that much. But yes, I'm kind of impressed with myself too. Do y'all have any book characters that remind you of each other? He hasn't read enough books really to like.
Raven from Boys and Brishaw.
Fuck off. I'm trying to think of any like romance heroes that he reminds me of, but not really. I often say this, like, I have a nice guy in real life, so that I don't want to read about them in books. Like, that's not exciting to me. I mean, I want a nice guy in real life. Like, that's what I want. But in books, like, I like something different.
Damn. You really out here fantasizing.
Yeah, that's life, man, you know?
I need something different sometimes, you know?
What else? I forgot how to read in high school.
Dingo. He's a Australian Kelpie.
But also kind of a mutt.
We don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
He's a good boy.
He's a good boy. He's needy, but he's a good boy.
Tips for reading while in college? I don't actually know because I didn't read much in college, which is really sad. I think that's the period of time when I read the least. High school, I read a fuckload. College, not so much, which I really regret. Like, looking back, I'm like, damn, there's like, I could have been reading so much. That was the time in my life when I only watched Netflix. Now I don't watch Netflix at all. So balance, I don't know her. Like, I am one of those people that gets hyper fixated on things. Like, I get anxious watching Netflix now because I know I could be reading.
That's unfortunate.
I mean, like, I can chill when we're watching like things that I really care about, but I don't like to just like fuck around and watch Netflix usually. Which I know is not something that we share. He like watches a lot of TV.
Yeah, I watch a decent. Well, I mean, I watch TV whenever there's stuff to watch. Like that's like that. I don't watch TV just to watch TV ever. I only watch TV if there's like a show that I'm like into that I'm.
But
like,
there's a lot of stuff you're into.
Well, I just keep finding new stuff. I purposefully try to find new stuff, you know, but yeah, I never just like put on like, you know, a lot of people will like just put on like The Office or something like that.
We're definitely not those people.
Yeah.
Balance, I don't know. Oh my god. I felt that. Any advice for reading more? Audiobooks and also having books on your phone. That's what like really does it for me, because if I'm ever like bored or standing in line somewhere, I just pick out like a book from Kindle. I also read quicker on Kindle than I do like a physical book. Have I been to university? Yes, I have a BA in history and a master's of science in marketing. I like school actually quite a lot. He does not. He barely graduated, so.
Wow, thanks.
You're welcome. He has a math degree. He's smart. He just doesn't like school. How do you keep yourself motivated to read when you have a schedule to keep? That's what keeps me motivated, is my schedule. And I get so excited for the videos that I'm going to put out that like the idea of not being able to put that out like frustrates me and stresses me out. So I make sure that I get the shit read. And the stuff that I'm doing right now, it's all romance like related stuff. So it's not hard to like motivate me to read my favorite genre. Honestly, someone asked me, I like that question. Have I ever read kinky sex, like so much kinky sex in a book that I can't read vanilla sex anymore? For me, like sex scenes in books, it's really just dependent on how the tension's built between the characters and how the like smut is written. Like I don't really care about the actual content. It doesn't need to be whips and chains for me to like enjoy it. Why are you looking at me like that?
No, I'm just listening.
But that's, I mean, just, yeah, I don't know. Fair.
I can't answer that question for you.
But for me, it's all about writing. And I honestly wish I wasn't such a lazy piece of shit, because I feel like with all the romance I read, I should be able to like write a decent one, since I know what I don't like. But
I don't know for sure because I haven't, you know, read enough. But yeah,
I think you're the same way. I mean, you pointed it out. You didn't like that the characters didn't really have any tension.
Yeah, well, I mean, is the tension and like the fact that I didn't like the characters made it. I couldn't take it seriously. Like, you know.
Yeah.
It didn't turn me on at all because I hated both characters so much, like who they were as people.
I mean, to be fair though, that's probably the reason I gave Credence by Penelope Douglas 5 stars, because the sex scenes in that book were hot as fuck. Like the book was kind of a mess, I'm gonna be real with you, but like the sex scenes were incredibly well written.
Wait,
the tension between
this book?
No. Credence by Penelope Douglas.
I was like,
that's good.
Like, that's well written.
That's what she wants.
Damn.
No, but I really like, she does tension excellently, and she's really good at, yeah. I have not read Snowden with the Boss. Favorite period to study? Oh, in history, I studied British history from like 1400s to like, wait, sorry, no. Yeah, that's like more like 1200s to 1500s. Yeah, those are my faves. I give off big bisexual energy. I don't know if I really ident. I mean, I guess you could, I don't know. I like queer better, but sure, bisexual is accurate enough. Favorite lip gloss? Ooh, I have it right here, actually.
No, do you?
I think I do. Or did I throw it away? I did. I threw it away because it was empty. Champagne Mommy by ColourPop. It's the fucking best. It makes your lips look juicy and beautiful, and I love it so much. Pet peeves in books. Depends on the genre. Romance, fuck, so many. Like, so many. I'm gonna do a romance tropes I hate video, and also just a tropes I hate in other genres video, and then I'm going to ask you guys for recommendations of books that have those tropes and then read those. Someone asked if I would taste test my subscribers' books, like favorites. No, I just think that's kind of not the format I would do that in. I would definitely do like, you guys recommend me books of tropes that I hate and see if I could like the trope. If it's like a book that you guys enjoy, tell me your favorite books that you read this year or least favorite books, and then I'm going to read them in some capacity, but it's not going to be a taste test. Pet peeves and smut. Smut, no. I mean, anything goes with like smut. I was sad when you didn't like A Lesson in Thorns. You know what? It wasn't terrible. It just could have been so much more and so much better. I just feel like the plot in that book was sort of a mess. The one like good sex scene in A Lesson in Thorns was kind of it. Like that was the only thing that really I thought was good. um, oh, someone else has a Kelpie.
Love Kelpies. He's a good boy.
He is a good boy.
4 months. Just to let you know, in like probably 2-3 months from now, and for a stretch of like probably 4 years, you're gonna not want to own your dog. No, I'm just kidding. But they do get to be like a lot of energy, and you gotta like just like take them out all the time. And then even when you do, like, I think I've only successfully tired my dog out one time, and I had to hike him for 11 miles through like the hills in the desert in West Texas. And that's the only time I've ever seen him tired. So just be ready for that.
Someone asked a question, why do I like history over literature? I wouldn't say I like it more. That's what I picked to study in college. I just enjoy it more. Like I enjoyed studying history, which is interesting because I don't like historical fiction very much. I like historical romance, but not historical fiction, especially not World War II historical fiction, which seems to be all that's fucking out there.
I would say that you're not a very big like literature fan, you know what I mean?
No, I don't. I read for pure enjoyment, and I pretty much always have. So to me, analyzing books is not that exciting. I mean, I like talking about them for my channel, and I feel like I do a fair amount of analysis, but not the sort of analysis that requires a degree. Yeah, history is just more fascinating to me. It's like shit that's actually happened. I like very concrete things. So I don't know. I like it better. But I don't know. I don't do anything with my degree. So
yeah, same, big same.
Yeah. Favorite book to movie adaptation. Hayden's definitely gonna have to say After by Anna Todd. Big fan. Ooh, he actually hasn't read After, but I did make him watch the movie. I don't favorite book to movie adaptation. Shit, I don't know. Book to TV. I like Outlander a lot. I thought that was really well done. What kind of TV shows do you watch, genre-wise?
What kind of TV shows?
Since you don't read a ton, you haven't like figured out like what you really like reading yet.
I'd say a lot of the ones that I've watched recently have been sci-fi. Like
you watch
a large
sci-fi
percentage of them have been sci-fi recently.
Drama,
at least.
I would say drama, not like romantic kind of drama, but like.
And then like obviously like comedy for like more casual watching. Like there are shows that I just watch purely for the comedy. You know.
That's fair.
It does tend to be a bit more casual. Like the shows that I like really get into for like a long time are normally like sci-fi, but like I watched Mindhunter, the last comment. I watch a lot of shows that are
Hayden's not really like I wouldn't say in any part of your life you're like a purist. Like you're not like I only like this one genre. With music, you're very all over the place in your preferences.
There's like fewer things that I dislike than what I like.
Yeah.
Or wait, yeah. Then I like, yeah.
He same with food. He's just like whatever.
Yeah.
You have like things you like more than others, but you're not very picky, which I like because I'm picky in every other regard. So it's nice to.
What shows am I watching at the moment? I just finished Lost in Space on Netflix. Because I don't know. I just picked it up because I was out of shows and I finished it today. And I mean, I watched it the whole way through. Like kept my attention. It was pretty good, I guess. Wouldn't say it's like the best show I watched all year or anything. If you want to talk about a really good show, though, go check out The Expanse on Amazon. Yeah, it's one of the best shows that I've watched in recent years.
War and Peace from Sky High, so.
Yes, it does.
That's motivation. I haven't watched that show, but I just saw him on the screen and I was like, maybe I'll watch that one day. Someone asked a pretty good question and I lost it, so that's fun. Fuck. I can't read. Suddenly, I can't read. Oh, any advice for talking about smutty books on YouTube? You have to kind of decide on like your comfort level. I think it can be difficult. I know that Jess definitely speaks about it differently than I do, and I think she definitely does it in a respectful way and in a way that is descriptive enough to where you understand what you're getting going into a book. Like she tells you if the book's really steamy or things like that. So I definitely always understand kind of like what she's trying to get across, but she definitely doesn't get into explicit territory. I definitely do because I'm more comfortable with that. It's totally up to you on like what you want to say. There are some things that I still don't say. Like I'm traditionally employed, so I wouldn't want an employer to find my channel and be like, she's talking about dick. So, I mean, I still like.
I mean, hey,
I'm not.
sometimes you gotta talk about dick. So,
but that's just me. Have you seen Silence of the Lambs? I have not. I do not watch scary shit. I'm like very much not a Scorpio in that regard. Like I don't like scary things.
Wait, what question are you responding to?
Silence of the Lambs. Have you seen it?
Oh yeah, of course. Oh yeah, for sure. Well, I love serial killers and serial killer stuff.
He might just be one.
I mean, not yet, at least publicly.
Sky High, we have to. Sky High is fucking excellent. Have you watched Marvelous Mrs. Maisel? I haven't. I feel like I should since I like Gilmore Girls so much. Haden should read Born Darkly. Maybe.
I don't know. What
it's about a serial killer falling for a psychiatrist.
Whatever.
It's pretty good. Sure. I mean, it was interesting.
Who knows what I really like enjoy reading at this point, and like
that's
who knows
part of the fun of it though.
Who knows how much I read things for the pain instead of the pleasure sometimes, you know?
Sometimes you just like to read a bad book.
Yeah, like this time, like I just forced myself through this whole Brayshaw shit. You know, I'm not gonna say I enjoyed it, but you know, sometimes you just push through. It's like, who truly enjoys running a marathon, you know? Most people do it to like say you can do it, you know?
Would not know. I don't think I would compare that to any of the books that I forced myself to read, though. Because I just wouldn't run a fucking marathon.
Yeah, but you do it to finish it. You're not, like, enjoying every second of it as it's happening. You know, you're, like, you're really pushing through.
Yeah, assuming that I would ever do one. I feel like it would probably be that experience. Would you say Brayshaw was smut? No. Smut, to me, is a very specific thing. It's like 100 pages, no plot, basically, and it's just Pound Town from day one.
Well, if this would have been a quarter of the length, then you would have had everything you were looking for.
And it tends to be very descriptive. I feel like this wasn't that descriptive. I mean, like it was, you know, the cum soaked butthole or asshole or whatever the fuck, but that it says it in the book.
It does. It does indeed.
It was bad though. Yeah. He's read actual smut, so now he's read new adult reverse harem romance, I guess you'd call it.
That's so specific.
Oh, it's a thing on Amazon though. It's one of those things that is not traditionally published, but it's definitely a thing in the indie genre. So, which book do you recommend for someone who likes to read romantic fantasy and historical romance? I think Jess from Peace Love Books does really good historical romance recommendations. I think Lacey from Lacey Book Lovers also does really good recommendations. Romantic fantasy, are you talking about like A Court of Thorns and Roses kind of thing? I don't know. And I also don't know anyone that really talks about romance that happens to be fantasy as well. So that's a tough one. Would you try to read The Secret History? No. Nothing is ever gonna make me do that. I'll probably have to be forced to read it for a taste test at some fucking point, but like I'm gonna avoid it as long as I can. I do not like dark academia.
I don't know what that means.
I know, and I don't want to explain it because I don't even give a fuck. I have read Paper Princess, yes. I thought it was okay. I think I read it in like 2016 though. So I don't really have any like current thoughts and feelings about it. Did I read Beautiful Creatures? I read it a long time ago and enjoyed it.
Oh.
The audiobook for Vicious by LJ Shen's pretty good. I actually liked it quite a bit. And I would recommend it. Although LJ really needs to get her shit together because I have not been liking. Oh. Just got an email notification. I need to go get shots for Pepe.
Wait, you can vaccinate a rat for rabies?
Hey. Have you heard of House of Leaves? We actually just talked about that, yeah.
Yeah, she actually bought a really nice hardcover version of that book for me for Christmas. One of my coworkers recommended it to me, and I mentioned it to her in passing, and so she got it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Though I've been having to read Brayshaw, and then I'm going to have to read Court of Thrones and Roses, right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
And then I'm also going to have to finish 11/22/63, and then I'll get to that book. So it's coming.
Maybe.
At least for me. I don't know if you will ever read it, but
I will at some point. Anything we own, I intend to get to. I don't really buy books that I don't intend to get to. We do have classics.
You're going to read Dune?
Okay. That's your book. Don't put that on me.
Yeah, but you said
like, if I'm buying him a book, I try to buy one that I would also be interested in reading. Will I ever read Dune? Probably not, but
you should, just so you can just so we can do this reverse, like I'm reading a book that you enjoy, which is what normally happens, but
I was actually going to ask you. Hey, no,
what if I made you read books that I enjoy?
I won't read. I don't like science fiction. That's a hard no for me.
I don't like Brayshaw.
Yeah, but you don't know that you don't like romance.
So. You don't know how to make sacrifices is what's going on here.
You know this about me.
Yeah, so
why are you acting
surprised? Everyone would love to see that. I'm just saying.
I was going to ask.
I think you'd get a good response
listen,
from people,
listen.
And you're just trying to deny that I have fantastic ideas.
I was going to say, I have to read A Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson soon.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you can read that too. Because that's something I think you're going to enjoy. It's fantasy. And I think that's on your list, isn't it?
No, it's not.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Skyward is, but...
Yeah, but that's his baby stuff, so...
I don't know.
Okay, well, I think you're going to like it, and so maybe we'll read that.
That doesn't answer my question or solve my problem.
I just solved your problem.
No.
I'm not reading sci-fi.
All I'm saying is... Yeah, you should do it.
If you could only recommend one Penelope Douglas book, what would it be? Punk 57 is my favorite book. Period. Although Birthday Girl's really good too, and I like Kill Switch. I really like all of her books. There's not a whole lot that I don't love. Her first series is iffy for me, but I have a whole guide to Penelope Douglas coming out soon. The only one I haven't read by her is Misconduct, so I just have to get that done, and then I'm gonna do a guide. Let me know what would specifically be good in that. I'm thinking what I'm gonna do is kind of a reading order, kind of tell you what the book's about a little bit, and tell you hey, if you like this, read this one, and that sort of thing. But
well, apparently House of Leaves, everyone's saying House of Leaves is scary and anxiety inducing as hell, so
I'll probably read it.
Maybe you shouldn't read it.
Maybe once my anxiety is under control. Oh, something's in my eye.
I mean, I've been waiting 10 years.
Fuck you, specifically. Romance authors I am interested in but haven't got to yet. Tons. There's tons of them. Like I said, Beverly Jenkins is a big one. That I can just think of off the top of my head. Fuck, there's some other ones. B.B. Easton. Also, I don't know what just made me think of this, but someone asked a while ago if Hayden's ever going to read J.R. Ward books. I don't know. He's not going to read them with me and Garen.
I don't know what that means.
She writes paranormal romance. It's what I do my podcast with Garen over.
Paranormal romance?
Like vampires and shit.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe if you were cool, you'd invite me on the podcast as a guest one time or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe I can't talk. Maybe.
I don't mean to invite myself, okay. But you're kind of acting like I'm not cool enough. So
perhaps I'll make you read the third book, which is the best one. So we're only on the first one right now. Whew. I have been sweating this whole time, and I need everybody to know that.
Why?
Why am I sweating, or why do I have to tell people?
Did you pop Molly?
Har. Gray sweatshirt. Oh, thank you so much. I love my babies. I really need to reread the series. Fuck, marry, kill, vampire, zombie, mummy. I feel like it should have been vampire, werewolf,
Yeah, it's kind of hard to kill any three of those, if I'm going to be honest. I feel like killing, because here's the thing with fuck, marry, kill with those three, it's for some of them, killing may not even be a bad thing. It may be the sweet release that they've been asking for decades.
Kill the zombie for sure. Mummy, marry, vampire.
How do you kill a zombie? They're already dead.
Whatever. They're all undead. Everyone gonna fuck a werewolf. No, I would not fuck a werewolf. I would kill the werewolf and marry the vampire and also fuck the vampire. Did you consider naming Pepe and Nugget anything else?
Nugget had a different name.
Yeah. I thought Nugget was a girl, so I named him Harper. And then, even before I found out that he was a boy, I called him Nugget because he's just a big, dumb nugget.
He is.
And I actually don't know where he is. I'm kind of sad he's not in here. Oh,
he's outside.
Do you think he's sitting right there?
No, he definitely is, and I can see under the crack of the door.
He's just always been Nugget, and he will always be Nugget. Pepe,
no,
here's the thing. Haden would not let me get a cat, and the only like real stipulation he had is that I had to name him Pepe Sylvia if I was going to get a cat, and so I named him Pepe Sylvia.
I win. So it was never up for debate.
Yeah, no. And now that he's Pepe, I mean, we don't really call him Pepe. I call him like Pee Sylvia.
Yeah, because he used to either like he never really like pee-peed in any places, but he would get pee-pee on himself. / one time he jumped into the toilet while I was peeing and then ran around the apartment covered in urine and like getting pee all over everything. So I called him Pee Sylvia.
I was not there for that, thank God, but yeah, he is a menace to society.
It was before work, and he got pee all over my clothes, so I had to change clothes. I had to bathe Pepe, I had to clean the apartment, and I had to re-shower because I was covered in pee. So, yeah, Pee Sylvia.
I usually call him Pepper.
Or Pepperoni, or Ron.
Ron. Pepperoni. He has a lot of names.
He's got a lot of names. Or just Rat Bastard is mostly what I go with. He's a rat.
He is a rat. That's the thing. He is a ragdoll just like Nugget, but he just has not fluffed out yet. Granted, they don't really fluff out the first year you get them. But Nugget was fluffier year one, and Pepper just is not. He doesn't like when you hold him.
I know. He's okay this time. He's licking me.
He was a Christmas present to myself. Do I regret it?
Every day.
He's soft.
He's literally so soft, and I tell her every day that that's literally the one thing that he has going for him.
He carries him into our bedroom every night like this, so I don't think he really hates him that much.
Otherwise, he'd be out on the street.
He's a good boy. He's kind of crusty, though.
You'd be out on the street if you weren't so soft.
Do you like Colleen? Wow, I cannot talk today. Do you like Colleen Hoover books? I don't see you talk about them. I've liked a couple of them. I've hated a few. I don't have strong feelings. I'm going to be reading one soon for 2 videos, actually. Same book, 2 videos. I'm really trying to keep that. Yeah. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Minimize the amount of Colleen Hoover I have to read. Is that a good tale? You love that? I'll take him.
He's in attack mode. He protects and he attack.
Have you put Pepe and Nugget on the Victorian Orphan Aristocrat and Polite Bastard scale? Yes. So
I don't know what that means.
Nugget is a polite aristocrat, and then Pepe is an orphan bastard. So.
Oh, 100%. I don't even know what you're saying, and I can concur with that.
Have you read new webtoons? No. Do I listen to MCR? I do not. I was more into like Never Shout Never sort of scene shit. I was not a like sad, depressing.
I listened to MCR like pre Black Parade, but like not in a very long time. / didn't really think or know about the fact that they had broken up to care about the reunion, I guess. Here's my thing with like a lot of musicians and bands and stuff, even if they're like not really bad, there's a lot of people that I think should just stop as they get older.
That's not very nice.
Like Eminem, you know? Like Eminem's still going, he's still putting out stuff, he's still technically good, but I think he should have stopped a long time ago. I think he should have like remained a classic and not like kept going into like the modern era. I think MCR is another one of those.
He was asleep on your bathroom floor.
I don't know who's bringing out Never Shout Never, but
I did.
But never.
I'll talk about Never Shout Never for fucking up.
Never bring out Never Shout Never.
Would I ever do a video, if you like this, you'll like that, with smut and non-smut books? I did it, but for paranormal. So like, if you like this YA book, you'll like this paranormal romance. Maybe I'll do it more generally. I have seen Jennifer's Body. I did like it. I think I'm going to have to do a new like intro to smut video and or like some good beginner romance recommendations. God damn it, will you let him back in?
No, that wasn't him on this door. That was
yes,
him.
It was.
Okay.
What are you? What? Like?
He wasn't on his door.
Where was he? Yes, he was.
He was in the bathroom.
Oh, well, he's making noise. Just let him in.
Okay, I'm just gonna leave the door open because he's not coming in.
Damn, now y'all can really see our kitchen.
Now you can see that kitchen. Look at that. Look at that dish towel.
We're like grown adults. Somehow. That's the weirdest part about being in a relationship since you were a kid is like being older doesn't feel like a natural progression as much. You don't like wake up. Well, I mean, I guess you kind of do wake up and think like, how did this happen?
I think that every day.
No, but for real, like I just remember we were like 16 and we're like, oh my god, wouldn't it be fucking cool to have sleepovers? Like getting to sleep next to my significant other, and like now we do that every day.
I wake up and wonder how I got myself trapped in this.
Haha. Yeah, I definitely gonna do an intro to romance video. I have like an intro to that like kind of tells you about like the different like genres and like contemporary romance all the way up to smut and like paranormal and like all that stuff. But I kind of want to do just one like recommendations for people who haven't read romance before. He's the worst. I have not seen Cats. I will never see Cats.
I'm scared. I'm scared to see Cats, if I'm being honest. And part of me is honestly curious because I'm so scared. You know? Like part of me wants to face my fears and watch it. But at the same time, I think that that's like 2 hours of my life that I will never get back.
Thoughts on Justin Bieber's Yummy? I didn't like Justin Bieber back in the day. I didn't hate him. I just like wasn't a huge fan like a lot of girls.
What's Yummy?
His new song that he's trying to promote, and it's fucking terrible. He's like, please stream it in your sleep so I get to be #1. Like, it's really pathetic. He's like an abuse apologist, so I'm really not a huge fan, and I don't like support him personally.
Was he like friends with Chris Brown?
Yes. Exactly. That's exactly right. Okay, I just got a text that just said we should see Cats. I know she's watching the stream, so that's why. But Julia, if you're listening, we're not going to see Cats together.
I mean, I'll watch Cats with you, Julia. If like you'll watch Cats with me, I'll watch it. Because she's no fun and she like won't watch anything with me that like she's not fully interested in, but she like forces me to watch things like One Tree Hill that I like really couldn't care less about.
He just doesn't understand how good it is. I'm trying to get him to appreciate it and he just is not. He doesn't.
And so yes, anyone who wants to watch anything with me that she won't watch with me, I definitely need some more watching buddies. I watch things alone a lot because she doesn't support me in my hobbies, you know, my interests. I need some support.
He smells good. Technically, Cats is a book to movie adaptation. That's cursed.
That's scary.
Nayli forever. Okay. Dude, Nugget's vibing. I go to the movies all the time alone. You know what?
I don't go to the movies, I'll tell you that. But I just mean like shows and stuff. That
I wanted to see Little Women alone, but unfortunately I had to bring him and pretend that I wasn't crying, but I was 100% crying.
She did it on New Year's. Like, what was I supposed to spend New Year's alone?
It was New Year's Eve, whatever.
That's what I mean.
I didn't intend. Okay, whatever.
You bought tickets ahead of time. What do you mean you didn't intend?
I was going to see it that same day, but I remember they didn't have good seats. And anyway. Cats looks terrifying. It does. It really does. Have I seen the new Frozen? I don't give a flying fuck about Disney movies. I'm sorry to say it. I just don't care at all. Like, not even a little bit. I've only seen half of the first Frozen, and I wasn't even actively watching it. It was like at a friend's house. No. I've never really been an animated movie person.
I'll watch animated movies, but I mean, like, fuck Disney.
Yeah.
Like, I'll
go to Disney World to ride the rides.
I'm like an anti-Disney kind of person.
Yeah, I
like,
kind of agree with that. I mean,
there's really nothing there for me that like I like most of the things that everyone's kind of flipping shit about because of Disney Plus. Like, really don't care about. The only thing that I care about is that they added DComs.
We like DComs.
That's the fact that DComs are easily attainable now instead of having to like cross your fingers and hope that they're on like Prime Video.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we would have to like pay,
money
like
to watch it.
$5 for them. But yes, DComs. That's what it's about.
I get scared easy. I don't like to be scared. No, I just not my thing.
Yeah, she doesn't watch or read anything scary.
I have like a whole list of recommendations from Kat and Daria, and I'll get to them at some point, but just like not now.
What, that are like scary things? Oh, well, hit me up with some of those. I've never read anything scary. I don't know if I could be scared through a book, so.
I think I'd be more likely to be. No, that's not true. That's not true. I think I'd be less likely to be scared through a book and more through a movie, but I don't actually know because I don't do either.
What's your favorite decom? Jilly wants to know.
Fuck. I don't know, man. I like the 13th Year. I like Luck of the Irish a lot.
After seeing Luck of the Irish more recently, even if I thoroughly enjoyed it, I can't in good conscience say that it's one of my favorites.
Why? It's like low-key kind of woke.
What?
The black kid calls out the white kid for being a fucking idiot a lot, and I liked that.
Yeah, but the whole movie's like so like Irish racism, like the whole thing. His family is secretly leprechauns who need a magical gold coin in order to stay normal size and without leprechaun ears.
You know what? I will say, like, okay, you know what kind of scared I am? Smart House scared me.
Smart House did scare me as a child. I will say that. I will say Smart House is terrifying. Under the bed?
Fucking terrifying. Boogeyman?
Oh, Don't Look Under the Bed?
That.
Scary. No, I loved that one. That didn't scare me. That one was pretty tight.
Fucking scary.
But yeah, but you loved Halloween Town.
That's not scary.
Yeah, you're right. It's not scary. It's
I like Halloween Town.
Way too like childish.
Yeah, so many good ones.
Fuck Camp Rock.
That was after my time. We're
old. It was a little too after my time.
Gonna be 26 this year, so.
I rewatched Johnny Tsunami like 2 or 3 weeks ago. One. It was pretty solid. It held up. I'm gonna be honest. Like it was. It wasn't as bad as I was expecting. Like, it was actually kind of a decent story.
Xenon, fucking so good. That's definitely
your favorite?
No, I don't have a single
favorite. I've been waiting to rewatch Brink this whole time. Brink is hands down one of my favorites.
Brink's really good.
I don't know if it is my favorite because I need to rewatch it. And,
I like Brink and
Motocross. Motocross is another one of my favorites, I have to say.
Favorite Halloween Town movie? We only recently rewatched the first one. I couldn't compare the other two, honestly. I think I like the first one the best, though. Wendy Wu, again, after my time.
Yeah, Wendy Wu was like the end of our time.
Stop, you're making me feel
also
old.
Stuck in the Suburbs was past my time.
I don't know that I can make you feel old because all of the recommendations for DComs people are giving are like way after when I would have stopped watching DComs.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you watch the first season of Sex Education with me?
Yeah, I've watched it. Yeah.
I think we watched it together.
Is there a second season?
Yeah, it just came out. We need to watch that.
No, I didn't know that.
That'll probably be our next thing to watch.
That was the one that like really pissed you off with the whole like bully thing, right? At the end of the first season.
Yeah, I thought those. But they're not together in the second season, so.
No, I mean it pissed me off too. So.
Will I read Akamath? I have read it before and I enjoyed it. Here's the thing. I don't really like Sarah J. Maas as a person. I don't really like her first series. I think Court of Thorns and Roses, the first 3 books are pretty solid and they kind of got me back into reading, so I will like them for that. I also like the Smut. It's pretty good in Akamath. Is he gonna read it? Probably not. I guess we'll see if you guys like our ACOTAR video. If you guys want us to read more, we might consider it. I think series are not a great idea for us, though, to read more than the first book.
Yeah, we didn't do it that well the first time.
It was the first time with Twilight, so.
Like, we did the first book pretty well, I think.
It's hard to keep up with series.
And also, like, honestly, they get, like, when it's not just you reading them, when it's time to, like, talk about a series, like, they do get kind of stale normally towards the middle. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, so trying to
you're kind of talking about the same topics over and over again. You know, even though the plot is kind of like changing and moving.
That being said, the second book in the ACOTAR series is the best one. But that being said, they're really long too. I just wouldn't want to force Haden to read that when he's like already trying to get back into reading and like wants to read other stuff too.
Yeah, like stop making me read a bunch of shit I don't want to read. Okay.
We'll see. Favorite non-booktube YouTubers. I do love Danny Gonzalez. He's great. I actually don't watch him a ton though anymore. I watch a variety of things. I've been really into like body positive like YouTubers. I really like Sierra Schultze. She's fun. Carrie Dayton. I like some of the more like minimalist YouTubers too. I like kind of watch fashiony people. I like Audrey Coyne a lot. She's a little older and she just talks about like taking the things in your closet and like making them work. I've been trying to be a little less consumeristic, I guess, lately, like not buy as much shit. And so their content inspires me to like go into my closet and make new outfits and stuff. So I like that kind of stuff. I'm not really into like beauty YouTube anymore. I used to when I was younger, but not so much anymore. Yeah, mostly like minimalist and body positive stuff. And then like a couple years ago, I really liked Whitney Simmons and some of like the fitness people, but I don't watch a lot of that anymore. Do you feel any different about J.K. Rowling after her transphobic tweets? I've never really been a big J.K. Rowling fan. I like Harry Potter, but I was never someone that like liked Harry Potter, and you
I
weren't
feel
either.
that. Yeah,
Like
no,
I
I mean,
like the
like, I read
movies.
all the books when I was
Mhm.
younger. I didn't even watch all the movies actually until I was like much older.
That's true.
Like until like the last movie came out, essentially, I didn't watch the movies, but I read all the books when I was younger. But yeah, I was kind of like, I just read them once, and I was like, I enjoyed that, but I was never like super into it, you know?
Yeah, I feel you.
Like, I definitely enjoyed the books
I
while I
know,
was
and
reading
I
them.
it
Like, they
was
really suck you in for
yeah,
like,
they do. I think they were really well crafted and plotted, and like it
mhm.
didn't feel like she just threw shit together at the end. It all kind of came together, which I thought was really impressive. Like she's an excellent writer, but I don't really care for her very much, and I never did. I actually don't watch Jenna Marbles. I know she still puts out good content, but I don't watch a ton. To be honest, I don't really watch a ton of non-booktube content anyway, just because, like I said, I'm a very single-minded person. Like if I get really into something, it's hard for me to draw my attention elsewhere. So I like to see what other people in the booktube community are doing, and my life is basically work, my cats, Hayden, booktube. That's like it. That sounds
I get like 5%.
Um, most of my friends I've met through the book community too. I just like don't want to say this is my life. Like that kind of I feel like sounds sad, but that I mean I like my life. I'm happy with it. So anyway, but I mean I am like I did put the second channel together so I could kind of like talk about shit that I can't talk about on my booktube channel. That's my thing. I don't like to share a ton of personal stuff on booktube just because I don't think my
It's upstairs.
I know I don't think my outside life is that interesting. So
Yeah, you're gonna make a YouTube channel about it.
I'm not really making it. That's the thing. It's not really about my life. Like, hard to explain until
I'm
I make
just
the
messing
videos.
around.
But yeah, I don't watch Lovely like Laura. We don't have very similar taste in books, so. Have you read any classic controversial books? Like American Psycho, Lolita, or Fight Club? I have not read Fight Club. I've read other Chuck Palahniuk, I don't know how to say his last name,
Hmm.
books before. Like Invisible Monsters. I've seen Fight Club. I love American Psycho, the movie. Have not read the book. And I have not read Lolita, but I will at some point. I like kind of controversial stuff. It does excite me, but I have not read it. Wow, I just remembered I have a dentist appointment tomorrow. Fuck.
What time?
It's at noon.
Oh, okay.
I
Well, at
haven't been
least
to
it's
the.
not super.
I know. I haven't been to the dentist in like a couple years, and I'm scared. I don't want them to like tell me I have 10 cavities, even though I've never had a cavity before. Prayers welcome. Okay. Tips for organization. It's weird because I feel like you would say I kind of have my shit together, but I wouldn't say I'm an organized person.
No, I definitely wouldn't. Oh, I mean, like you're more organized than me when it comes to especially like your YouTube stuff and like trying to plan things out. But as far as like physically organizing things, no, you're a wreck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm really messy.
Yeah, she's very messy, which is like funny because like then I guess like I'm like a little more physically clean, but I don't have anything like organized.
Yeah.
Like
I think for the things that I care about, I try to prioritize, you know? Like same with like cleaning stuff, honestly, like I make sure my sheets are cleaned every single week, like without fail. I love clean sheets. Shit on the
you watch
ground,
the sheets this week yet?
I'm gonna do it tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, I don't know why I'm justifying it to you. I'm the only one that does laundry. That being said, he's the only one that cooks and cleans the kitchen, so what was I gonna say? But yeah, I don't really have a ton of organization tips. I would say if you like to if you have something that you're passionate about, it'll be easier to stay organized. Like, yeah, that's it. Let me see if I can show you guys more of it. Right here, I have all of my like content planned for the next, like, I say, obviously I don't have the last 3 months of the next 6 months planned, but I get my big desk calendar, rip off the pages and put them up here, and then like I have little sticky notes that I can move around, and that's what works for me because I like to visualize things. But just keep a planner together. Try not to micro organize your day or like do shit that's too ambitious, but anyway. Julia, I like that camaraderie. I'm going to think in my head that you scheduled your dentist appointment because you knew that I had one. What sort of non-booktube videos do I want to make? I mean, the whole conception of my second channel was really like, I don't have my shit together. Like my life's sort of a mess in every other regard besides booktube, and I like want to do better. Mostly around like my health. But it's not going to be like a diet channel or anything. It's just like me trying to get better in various regards. I'm also like terrible at scooping my cat's litter box. Like just like shit like that. Like I want to get better about being like an adult person. So that's like what my channel is going to be about. Like this year I'm 25, you know, quarter life
like,
crisis.
It's like it's time to get your shit together.
Literally.
Yeah, and get their shit together.
To get their shit together. Yeah. Exactly. Scoop my cat's litter box with me, not clickbait. No, I have to set reminders on my phone because otherwise I'll just forget and it'll be bad.
Which is weird because like you walk right past it every day when you leave and come home from work.
Like you underestimate my ability.
And you have to like move around the poop and like step over it because it's not in the box, and that's how you know when it's time to scoop.
That's not how that works.
It's crazy that I know when it's time to scoop and I don't even go that way.
You know what's also crazy is that my cat shit outside the box, even if it's not time to scoop. What's also crazy is you underestimate my ability to just like.
I say if shit's outside the box, it's time to scoop.
Okay. I'm just saying, like, I'm really like you underestimate my ability to just ignore the things that are around me.
No, I don't underestimate that at all. I'm around you constantly, and you are really good at ignoring me.
Huh. Okay, so we have been on here for 1 hour and 42 minutes. We're probably going to shut off at exactly 11 o'clock. So ask us questions. Tell us what you want us to talk about for the next, like, 20 minutes.
Nope. You're about to go zombie mode, I think.
Oh, shit. Myers-Briggs. I'm an INTJ, but I can't remember what Hayden was. He's probably whatever the complete opposite of that is. He's definitely an E.
Every time I take one of these things, I forget what the results are, so.
I only remember his Enneagram because we did that recently. What the fuck?
Is she getting into, like, my bathroom cabinets?
Probably.
Oh, no, he's just, like, jumped from the cabinet onto the toilet.
University in 2 months. I'm nervous. It's hard to give advice because it depends what you're nervous about. College is really fun. Definitely try to join clubs. I know that's like not what you want to hear, but do that so you can make friends.
You don't have to. I didn't do that. I made plenty of friends. I don't know. Like just
I think if
don't just go to class and not talk to a single person and just like avoid everyone because you're like too nervous. Like
yeah.
I mean, like at the worst, you don't connect with someone, you know, but like otherwise you might hang out with them. You might meet some more people. Like, you know, who knows? I met so many people not through clubs and stuff, and I spent very little time on campus, but yet I still feel like I met a decent number of people.
Yeah, you also did work though and made friends through work and
that too.
So yeah,
get a job. Sometimes you'll make friends through your job.
Should I go to UT Austin for grad school? Depends what it's for. If it's good for what you're going to grad school for, absolutely. Austin's an amazing city. We've loved living here. I like UT a lot. I'm a big fan. Zodiac signs. We already talked about it, but he's a Leo. I'm a Scorpio. Most anticipated for 2020. I'm assuming you mean book. And it was Credence, and I already read it. So I don't know what I have to look forward to anymore. When you're in class, interact with people in there. Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, like, it's easy when you have, like, assignments with people too, you know, like a group assignment, or if you're, like, sitting next to someone, just say, "Hey," I don't know. I know it can be hard, and that's why I recommend, like, clubs if you're an anxious person and, like, have a hard time meeting people otherwise. He's really not an anxious person, so he didn't have to meet like, you didn't have to join a club to meet people. Also, you don't have a lot of interests that would line up with a club. Like, he's not a frat guy. I joined a, like, women's organization on campus that was, like, sorority-ish but wasn't a sorority. So, it was, like, a service organization, and it was just women who had, like, similar ambitions, I guess, like, very ambitious people, and, I made friends through that. It was super nice. But yeah, it's fine. Just let him be.
No, he was bumping my hands.
So, that's my college advice. That being said, I also think that college is, a lot different than you think it's gonna be, and I don't think that you have to make lifelong friends or that college is the best time in your life. I enjoyed college and it definitely was fun, but not for the reasons I thought it was gonna be fun.
Yeah, and like part of college for me at least was learning how to be alone.
Mhm.
Because like, yeah, I mean, at least for me, living with my family beforehand, there was like kind of always someone there. Like I wasn't in one of those like in a family where like my parents were gone when I got home from school kind of thing. And like my brother is like a year
They're
or
wrestling
so.
behind us.
Oh
Oh,
my
shit.
god.
I wonder if I can get them in frame. They're crazy.
But yeah, so it definitely took some getting used to for me and like learning how to just be okay with just hanging out. I guess they're not fighting anymore.
Damn. Sometimes it really do be like that. I have not read Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl. Put me off reading biographies. I don't read nonfiction, and I know I feel like I should read nonfiction, but I just am not that into the idea of it. There's not a whole lot of nonfiction that interests me because I read mostly for pleasure. So. Okay, we disappeared for a second. That was really odd. Okay.
Hopefully we're back now.
Yeah, we're back.
Oh, okay.
I bet he's just gonna explode at some point.
Oh yeah, and like Jocelyn said, for sure, like I don't know, some people definitely prefer living alone, but even if you think that you would prefer living alone, I would try living with some people 1st.
Mhm.
Especially like when you first move somewhere, because I'd say more often than not, it's easy to make friends with a roommate unless they're just an absolute like garbage animal person.
And I think even if you don't stay friends with them forever, they can introduce you to people.
Exactly,
You'll
and
feel more
that's kind of the
comfortable
point, yeah.
like going out with them to find new friends. So I would
Mhm.
recommend that.
Definitely.
Which reminded me also, if you ever want to have a partner, like if you anticipate like getting married or like living with a partner like long term later on, I think it's important to have lived with people before, so you kind of understand
100%. What like
what that's
is
like.
normal?
Mhm.
What's like okay?
That being said, I don't think we had a really hard time transitioning. I mean, we didn't fight a ton or anything.
Oh no, definitely not about like living together, because I mean, neither of us are really. Yeah, neither of us are really like animals, you know. Like,
well, we don't have like really crazy habits.
that's
Like,
what I'm saying. Neither of us do some real savage shit. So
we're yeah. I know I'm messier than you, but overall, I would say it's like fairly easy to live together.
yeah, I will say. I mean, even though neither of us really had those issues, like having a different bathroom than you now is like life changing.
Oh, 100%. I love not sharing a bathroom. Yo, you want to chill with that, Pepper? He don't. Oh, he be running.
And that's how you do that.
Did y'all go to the same school? Yes, we did. And it wasn't really intentional either because our senior year of high school, we didn't go to the same school our freshman year of college. I went to a different school. It was not my dream school. UT was my dream school. I eventually went there. But we were broken up when I made the decision to transfer. So I like to say that because I didn't intend, I guess. Like, I wasn't like, oh, let me follow my boyfriend.
Well, and I mean, I also didn't know if I was getting in yet.
Yeah, he wasn't at UT his freshman year either. He had to transfer. We both ended up transferring in. And
the school that I was going to was like intentionally to try to get to UT, but I didn't know at the time, like, whenever my first year was ending, I was kind of like really close to the line of like
the grade point average you needed. Yeah. UT is a very challenging school to get into, so trying to transfer in is obviously hard. Favorite Always Sunny character? What would you say?
Favorite Always Sunny character?
You know, I'm gonna have to say Dennis just because I feel like I relate to Dennis.
I'm gonna have to say either Mac or Artemis. Yeah, I know, surprise character, but Artemis is just she's just so much fun, you know? Like
gold.
Anytime Artemis is in an episode, you know some shit's really about to go down in the best kind of ways.
Frank's also great because he kind of looks like my dad.
Oh, did you show anyone the shirt that you got me for Christmas?
No, I didn't. Dingo, stop. Would you say Frank kind of? I feel like Frank's kind of like my dad. Like it looks wise, like the eyes. Like if my dad got older,
yeah, no, I mean, Frank. I think your dad is gonna act like Frank in a few years.
Yes, so well. I also really like Frank.
Yeah, for sure. I also think Dee is super underrated. Like,
100%.
Because you know she's so hateable, but I forget a lot of times about like TV shows and movies that whenever you feel that kind of like
that means they're doing
that job. Like visceral reaction of like hurting to your bones. Yeah, that means that she's doing an incredible job out there. So
relating to Dennis is concerning. You know what? Perhaps it is.
But she is like kind of a sociopath, so it makes sense.
No, his unabashed self-centeredness and like the moments when he's like
yeah, that's called sociopathy.
Oh, fuck off. Yeah, like if I were to be an Always Sunny character, it would definitely be Dennis.
You were, yeah, you would. I'm a Dennis. For sure.
Who would you be?
Probably Charlie, honestly.
Yeah, he's got Charlie energy.
I mean, just because I am an idiot and can play some music.
And I feel like you're the kind of person that would be codependent on a Frank character.
Oh, I don't know that I would say that.
I would say that because I know you. So.
Yeah. But see, that's the thing. I don't think that I would be Mac.
No.
I'm definitely not D.
Mm-mm.
So
maybe
kind of have to.
I would say maybe Cricket.
Really, Cricket? I knew you were gonna say it as soon as you said maybe.
What's up?
You look good in the camera, bud. He loves you.
I'm trying to think of any juicy last minute questions I can ask you. How do you feel about the fact that you have to marry me?
Have to?
Get to.
Say both of those are wrong terms.
Fuck.
I mean, I think the fact that I asked you to marry me says a little bit about how I feel about it. So
I thought you were gonna have something juicier to say, but that's fair.
No. Oh, did you want me to lie?
Anyway, favorite One Tree Hill character. Tough. I like Brooke by herself the best, but I really am a big Naylee stan, mostly because we've been in a relationship like from high school. So
I don't know who that is.
Nathan and Haley. They get married at like 16 or some shit. The dream, not really.
Yep.
But
pretty much. Oof.
Oh yeah, I don't even think I said that. Like, I don't think I gave context for who you are at the beginning of this, but yeah, that's Haden.
Wait, what? Where was that?
No, I just thought about the fact that like I didn't really like talk like we were talking about a relationship for parts of this, but I didn't really say like this is my fiance, like we are together.
No, I was saying, was there any like comment or anything that made you realize that?
One of the reasons, like one comment I got on my channel was someone asking, "Who's Haden? You keep mentioning him. Is he a friend, a lover, a boyfriend, something more? Question mark, question mark." And I was like, "Yo, I don't know. That's a great question.
I'm just a lover.
Just a lover." When I said you were my house elf.
I'm a fighter, not a lover.
I don't know what the fuck that is. Don't ever do it again. We're down to the wire, guys. We only have 5 more minutes. I feel like I'm just chilling on here. Hoping someone asks me something juicy. I like Hayden's confusion that has made up about 73% of this live show. That's just life. We walk through it.
Especially like trying to, step into the like booktube community. I'm almost illiterate, so
he's just along for the ride. Did Hayden have a cringy phase equal to the Twihard phase? He had swoopy Justin Bieber hair.
Yeah, I used to be like
a rebellious
kind
skater
of
kid.
scene-ish.
I would say you're more like skater.
Yeah, well, no, I dressed skater, but I listened to a lot of like scene music and like hardcore music. I went through a stint of like hardcore music, and then I also went through a stint where I was like a church youth group worship leader. So yeah, there were plenty of phases, but I don't know how many of those were like that outward, where like if I were to have met someone at random that didn't know me, like outside of like school and everything else, that they would have been like, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't that kind of phase where it was like outwardly cringy for the most part.
I mean, it was cringy, but
yeah, but you had to know me to cringe,
But his cringe complimented mine. Like whenever I saw him with that swoopy hair, I was like, damn, like that's my type. Like blue eyes, swoopy hair.
Did I like type O negative? I don't even know what that means.
Like blood type. I'm not sure that he's really.
Do I like type O negative?
Is that what it says?
It says.
Do you like Hayden? Do you like type O negative?
Yeah, like blood.
Maybe.
I mean, I guess I haven't really gotten to taste test in comparison to the others. So.
Ooh. Do you have piercings?
Prince Albert.
Don't say that. He does not have any piercings. I
have a guiche.
Stop talking, please. This is on the internet forever.
Yeah, that's fun.
I only have my ears pierced. I kind of want to get the second holes pierced simply because I want a pair of like little tiny snake studs.
I've been thinking about getting like an e-boy like dangly earring.
Only so I'll like him more.
Let me know if you guys think that would be a good idea on me or not. You think if I could rock the like dangly e-boy earring?
I think you could. We'd have to get you like the outfits to match. You could totally pull that look off.
And like also I really want to get my ears pierced just so I can wear the cursed squirrel feet earrings. Are those them right there?
Yes, but we're not going to talk about them.
Okay. Anyways.
Looking forward to your TikTok account. Honestly.
What, are you going to start making TikToks?
No, they're talking about you making e-boy TikToks.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I got you.
Yeah. He couldn't take it seriously enough to do it, I don't think.
I think like the more I take it as a joke, the more seriously I could take it, if you know what I mean. Like the joke could be to make e-boy TikToks as seriously as I can,
Honestly, I miss the days of like true e-boy TikToks. Now it's just comedy, which is like great, but also I just want to see like hot guys like with their fucking veiny hands on their chains. I miss
on their chains.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that the thing? Do I have to wear a lot of chains?
Yeah, it's like chains, like a dangly earring, and like a black head tap. Oh my god, he doesn't even know the e-boy head tap. Well, I'll train him. Like? It's like you like tap right here, and like your eyes roll weird. I'll show you later. I don't have any saved or anything. What is he doing back there?
I just read that. Yeah.
Tatiana, love you. I feel like I haven't seen you in the chat today. Kind of off topic. Scene in Credence at 30% where Jake's like, my dead girlfriend's so fucking hot. It is weird. It was weird. The whole book was sort of a mess, but like I said, the sexy scenes were sexy, so I can't really be upset about it. I've not read Hank Green's first book. I'll read it at some point. I do own it, I think, somewhere.
I don't understand why.
He's like we back temporarily. I just feel like we had to say goodbye before he straight up right as we were leaving, or like right as I said he's gonna turn this off or something, he turned off the switch to our like
surge protector.
Yeah, and it connected to the internet and the computer.
Awesome.
Love that for me. But yeah, that's pretty much all we had to say anyway. Just thought we would come on and say bye. But
yeah.
Thank you guys for joining. Like I said, next month it's gonna be Pennies by Pepper Winters. Kat, Daria, it's gonna be a great time. Join us. I'll talk about it more obviously on Twitter. And yeah, thanks for coming. Thanks for participating. If you read this book, I'm sorry it had to happen. But bye guys.